said, if you go back, right? If you look at the interview that popped off the Breakfast Club.
Is that the
Ray J Fabulous
beef?
Where he was talking about the booty goons.
The booty goons.
Yeah. He was with Diddy. And he was with Floyd and all of that. So when you start to look, I don't want to make no insinuations, but I'm just saying.
Yes, you do.
When you start to connect
want to make
the dots,
all of this insinuations.
did you hear what he said on camera? Is that something that you joke about? Would you joke about that?
Me personally, no.
Okay.
I wouldn't joke about that.
So
but also, we in a
when
culture.
we talk about the booty goons and I'm gonna have them do this to Fabulous and do this to.
Oh my God!
And then you hear stuff like this. Mm-hmm. It's not looking too good, man. It's
nah. That's I will say this. Like if first off. What up, everybody? We back another episode of Real and Uncomfortable. We missing our third. But I got my man E-Man Music to the right.
Yes, we
here. You know it's your boy Tez here. G-Lo's man in the camera as always. And we're happy to see you with us. Thank you for joining us.
Facts.
A lot is going on since the last time we convened here.
Yeah, the live show.
The live show happened, right? Great turnout. Again, if you guys are looking for an amazing time, if you guys want to see opportunity to join in the conversation outside of the comments, you can actually curse out E-Man Music for real. Yeah, join us at the next live show. But if you have some time, check out some highlights from the previous one.
Yeah.
It was amazing stuff. We had Off Key But Lit there. We had my man Ali the Greatest there. We were doing a lot. And DJ Drop. Oh, man.
Shout out to Yonkers Brewery.
Shout out to Yonkers Brewery.
Shout out to all the sponsors.
Yeah.
Who we had?
We had Eureka Vapors.
Heineken, Eureka Vapors.
Yes, yep.
Oh,
my God. And then, look, if you looking to connect with us and help produce the next one, be a part of the next one, be a part of the celebrations, make sure you hit us and definitely look out for that next one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's been a lot of stuff and changes and moving around, moving and shaking. One of E-Man's, idols and personal friend of the show.
I don't like the word idol.
That's
too heavy. That's too heavy.
Is it though?
Yeah, I would say unofficial mentor.
A role model, right?
Okay.
You seen that? That Dexter's Laboratory meme where dude is looking at the locker? Yeah.
I'd rather go with role model in the sense that I've read the books he's written. I've seen the plays that he's ran. I've ran the same plays. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
The Book of Curtis is well read
100%.
in the world of E-Man Music.
100%.
But you know what? For good reason, though. I will say the man is brilliant, and if you followed his business moves, I've in my recent conversations with people, it's nothing but stellar, stellar comments about his moves, business-wise, media-wise, music-wise, and most importantly, how he's able to leverage things and move things forward. E-Man, though, his favorite point of adoration comes from the way in which my man handles conflict. And he did something that's been kind of unprecedented in this recent time. If you follow, there's been a little bit of unspoken tension between two of New York's most prolific players in hip hop, that being Mr. Curtis Jackson and Mr. Sean Combs. And upon some of recent legal issues for one of those parties, the other chose a very cinematic route. E, you want to tell them about it?
Nah, everybody knows about the Diddy doc.
There we go.
You know what I mean? Everybody knows about it. I feel like what's throwing me off is people are surprised and people are going left side and they're like, but why would he and how can he kick a black man while he's down and da. 50 has been in the film game for over a decade. Power is one of the top series around the world. He's done documentaries. He did the Pop Smoke documentary. Like, he's been in the film industry more than the music industry for the past 10 years.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
So
now that you do the
why
math,
are people surprised? It's a whole bunch of things that, and I posted videos on my Instagram where, like, 50 has been consistent with
his
the
messaging.
The energy that he has with certain things. He's been consistent.
I will say this, right? To the commentary that don't kick a black man while he's down. Why one black man carrying it? Yeah, let's talk about that because
what's your opinion on that?
My opinion on that is when you have people, being black is a complicated thing because we only have so many people in our country, in our industries that have reached a certain peak. So it does hurt to watch people fall. However, when you're actually looking at the net contributions of certain individuals and what they've either done to uplift or pull down the culture, certain actions can't be defended because they overall make the situation harder for us in general, right? I think we need to look at not even what somebody's done, but what they haven't done, right? All right, hear me out here. You look at a person like Jay-Z, and this is not to say that he doesn't have whatever is going on too, because I don't think any man is perfect, and nor will I try to defend anybody.
That's what are you trying to say here?
I'm trying to say that Jay-Z has done something that I don't think we can say Diddy has, and that's created millionaires and billionaires out of his business dealings and such as well. Take aside all of the things, because those are monstrous allegations. We're going to get to those too. But one of the things when we talk about impact for the culture, as we're building, the best thing you can do is to help build others. And one of the major accusations that has been one since the 90s is that when it comes to building artists for the long run, when it comes to building businesses for the long run, when it comes to influencing culture and creating other giants like yourself in the long run, that's something that has monumentally fallen short on the bad boy label, at least.
No, 100%.
Like
100%.
you can look at, I think one of the most telling things was you look at the apex in the documentary, the apex of Bad Boy. You look at the people who they had on the roster. And a lot of people question, well, where are these acts now?
Right.
You know, and don't get me wrong, hip hop has been a predatory thing. So business dealings, hear me, the business dealings weren't always favorable. I'm talking about LaFace Records, right? You look at the 360 deal, the creation of the 360 deal. You look at these things, and then you just look at who has utilized them the most. And those things are things that kill the industry. So having somebody, you talk about kicking a black man when he's down or kicking anybody when they're down. What were you trying to preserve them for if they're not uplifting the culture too? Because that's really what we're arguing against.
He sold people a dream, and I think that's what people are stuck on.
Yes.
He gave you this energy of, I can do anything and I'm invincible.
Inspiration.
And it inspired people. But what was really behind that?
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like,
you know what the toughest part is too? That you said people being shocked. I don't think it's necessarily people being shocked because there's been rumors and things circulating in hip hop, whatever, but they were like myths and urban legends. Seeing the people behind the scenes, seeing like little nuances and hearing little bits and nuggets, like people saying things like maybe flights were changed and plans were moved and, you know, this being that and this, you know, trying to, what do they have, that conspiracy board where you have like the pins being drawn and everything? Seeing how those dots connect potentially is like one of those things like, oof. I'll even take it one step further before we go dive into the documentary fully. One of the things at the very end that was said was, upon hearing one person's testimony during the trial, the jury said something. It was like, we just couldn't believe it. It sounded unreal. It sounded like it couldn't be possible.
You talking about the girl?
Yeah. It sounded so surreal of a situation in the picture that she painted that it was like.
But I think Diddy played with that, though.
Sometimes they say the truth is stranger than fiction.
But in the sense of, like, nobody's going to believe you.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
You get what
Literally
I'm saying?
Literally that.
I don't know. For me, this whole thing reminds me of the stories of, like, that weird uncle at the family function who nobody really wants to talk about. And I think 50's calling it out. You know what I'm saying? The interview that he did with, I think it was ABC News, he made a powerful statement of, a lot of times because people are silent in hip hop, it makes it seem like we co-sign certain behaviors.
Right.
We're not doing that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
For what it's worth, okay, we can dive into this, right? Let's just give a full introduction. The beauty I thought of the whole documentary was the fact that 50 was able to contact people who were vital parts of the entire legacy and journey that is Diddy, Bad Boy, and all the things involved. And whether players that we knew, names that we didn't, some familiar faces, some not so familiar, but all of them played integral roles. With that said, they were able to show the development and maybe some breadcrumbs of how things go, right? It's one thing to say things were a spot or a one-off of a circumstance, but when people are able to identify patterns, that's where things kind of go very left. And I think that that's really where this, unfortunately, went. You know, I mean, fortunately, in the sense of if all of the allegations and situations are as they were presented, then everybody should know. And these things should not be allowed to be moved. Right. Again, so back to that statement of kicking a black man when he's down, that usually refers to why are we taking down the few people we have to look up to, right? Go ahead. All right, tell me what you think. I already know what you think.
If the few people are abusing other people,
right,
why are we protecting them?
They're exactly that.
You get what I'm saying?
Are they truly to be looked up to if they have the capacity for those behaviors? Because I would like to think that the standard to be up there is not just one of monetary value. It's not just of accomplishment, but of character as well.
I think that's the most important thing. Going back to the weird uncle thing, right? Let's say if there's a weird uncle who takes care of his kids, but he's abusing all his nephews and nieces.
Yeah.
Are we gonna like look the other way because he's taking care of his kids? No,
you can't.
You gotta go.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So we gonna call out, and I feel like there's a shift in the culture because I saw a video of like, you know, Jim Jones got the new podcast or whatever.
Yes.
He was sitting with Earn Your Leisure.
Okay.
And I think he called Sexy Red either a legend or a hero.
Ooh.
They called him out.
They called him out.
Nah, and like, what do you mean?
Well, hear me out here because
and he was trying to stand on it. And they're like, no. We gotta
draw that line in the sand. Draw that line.
Like, just because she's popular,
yes,
we're not gonna give her the hero title. Well, like, what is the message that she's giving out to young black girls in the black community?
Well, there we go.
You get what I'm saying?
That right there is things I love, right? Because you have. I think that there was a level of resistance at first to some movements and some things in the culture. But I tell you all the time, unfortunately, there are some things in hip hop culture
that are toxic. Because we did have that
we have this conversation.
But
we have this all the time.
I feel like we mix things up. I think somebody telling their story is different than glorifying, you know what I'm saying?
I completely understand it. But to me, right, there's a difference between the music that we hear, and unfortunately, just like we conflate the issues in our conversations, we put those both side by side, right? We take a person who's telling the story of their struggle versus a person who feels like continuing the practices that they had to adopt to survive makes them more, or you know what I'm saying? Because they continue to do those things. You've made millions of dollars. You now have access to investments. You can take your mom out the hood, this, that, and the third. You can do all of these things. Why are you still talking about what you cook, what you serve, who you serving it to, and who you're gonna spin on? You feel me? Like, those are different things and behaviors that I do understand it has its place. But if we're looking at hip hop as influential as it is, those are also things you have to take into account. And again, that's neither here nor there because, again, there's different battles for different times. It's just that if we're going to look at hip hop as what it should be, then we have to have its presentation be responsible. And I'm not going to say it has to be the cleanest because music is honest, music can be raw, music can reflect all aspects of life. But if we're going to draw that line in the sand morally, we do have to be cognizant of at least how we describe certain people. Not to say a Sexy Red can't exist in music. Right. She absolutely can.
But a hero is crazy.
There you go.
A hero is crazy. And you can sense the uncomfortable energy in the room, but I appreciate Earn Your Leisure standing their ground and kind of being like, nah, like we're not going to, that's not something that we co-sign. Like we have to be mindful and call it out for what it is. Like just because she's popular,
doesn't
don't
mean
mean
that
she's a hero. Like
I get you.
you know what
I
mean?
get you. So, all right. Initial takeaways from the documentary itself.
50 did a great job. I'm just saying he did a great job piecing together the timeline and breaking things down. Great job. So yeah, that's one. Second, I think it was important to put it out so that people could see it for what it is. Like to me, if you choose to be on that side, we know what kind of character and what you'll excuse. You know what I'm saying? You know what kind of character you have and what you'll excuse. I think this is a moment where we draw the line. Are you with that weird stuff? Or are you standing up for what you believe in, regardless of what comes with it? You know what I'm saying? Like there's some people who are scared of what comes with standing up for what you believe in, and they'll look the other way or try to keep their eyes closed while certain things that shouldn't be happening are happening. Yeah. And for me, I'm in a space in life where, this is what I stand for, and if you move the other way, just stay over there. We're not co-signing it. We calling it out. For all the dudes who are taking advantage of young women, we calling it out. We not co-signing it. That's just the energy that we on. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
All right, perfect. So, I think first I'll give my takeaways too, right? Again, I'll give props to 50 in the sense of
say that again. I don't know.
I mean, look, he's saying this because
I don't think I heard it correctly.
Because I refuse to put
to give props where it's due.
Nah, I refuse to put 50 in my Bible, replacing things like the books. You know what I'm saying?
Just
like,
give credit where it's due.
50
he did an incredible, like he. Not just as 50. I'm talking about for documentary itself, isolated.
Okay, so let me finish. Right. So the pacing of the documentary, amazing. I'm really big into movies. So when you can, I call them like soft introductions to characters, right? It was beautifully sprinkled in where you'll see a bit or a piece where somebody played somewhat of a role somewhere, and then you're like, okay, cool, I'll just accept that this person said something. Then he explains the significance of this person and their involvement and how, what that person said was what he said, but they have a unique perspective because they were here, and here. So that said, amazing job there. Pacing was great. I'll say this, the pacing was so great that had this come out during the midst of the court, and I understand it can't because some of the stuff was actually being done during the court proceeding. But had some of these testimonies been had or put out in the way that they have been, I think they would have put Diddy under the jail, bro. Like, yeah, it would have been one of those things.
I want to give credit to Alex Stapleton. I think she's like the director producer. She's responsible for it.
Okay. Well, good on her too.
You know what I'm saying? The way that it was set up, like
from a documentary, pure documentary storytelling side, that it was a watch. Now, don't get me wrong, because we have our attachments to hip hop culture, and even to like, you can't move away from the fact that the man is prolific and we've been fans of his music. It's tough to see that side presented, even if it still has the allegedly mark on all of this stuff, even if it's a lot of this stuff can't really be founded, or it has a disparity of whether or not it can be proven because confirmed because the court even may have dismissed certain things. You start to question why that was too. And I will say, the word that I wanted to use that 50 did a great job of doing, of providing from a strategic, if you're looking at this from a 50 Cent versus Diddy situation, doubt. He provided doubt. If there was any sort of feeling that that Diddy may not have been involved in some of those things, if you had any type of stance that this was all a hit job, if that this was all a way to just take down the man because of enemies he may have had in business and doing legitimate business and maybe just rub people the wrong way, it provides a level of doubt in every aspect of it, from the essay allegations to the contractual allegations to the building of his businesses to the feeling of whether or not he thinks he can get away with everything. It creates a level of doubt.
But how much more confirmation do you need?
Well,
Because I feel like you're still in the space of we don't know.
no, it's not a space of we don't know. It's just a space of what do you want to happen? Because talking about what people believe or anything else, that's just the pathway to get to a result. What do you think the result is that you desire?
Yeah,
all right.
I'm not answering that question. Only God knows. It's in the hands of God. You feel me?
Okay. So that's where I'm at with it, because it's not necessarily the court. He's in jail.
Right.
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 And unless there are other things going to be levied, because there are other cases still being.
I think it's like over 70 or like 100 or something like that.
But a lot of those, unfortunately, are civil. There's some criminal sprinkled in, but even that, right? So even if you take a perspective that he is done all of those things, right? It's a level of what do you want to come from that, and how do you get there?
That's a big question.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
a big question.
while I appreciate the line in the sand that's being drawn from the landscape of hip hop, it's phenomenal, and we need that, because even if you're looking at it from a purely business perspective, it's a hindrance to the culture. Because whether we want to believe it or not, hip hop culture, black culture, side by side, they're intertwined. One thing that I've observed over time is, if you look at rock music, in our year of 2025 going into 2026, there are so many rock stars, pop stars, who have leveraged their success in those music industries into business success and cultural success, political success, and running the world. Part of the reason why we don't have as much is because the vehicles that black people can use, primarily athletics and music, some of those aren't as fruitful as they should be to the creators involved. And if we have to move the people in the way of that, the gatekeepers in the way of that, who are hindering it for their own enrichment, that's a whole other thing. Fuck all the other predatory stuff, because that in and of itself should have moved them out. Right. If we're looking at a situation where we can see something and we're like, oh man, damn. Even the people in the dock were like, we saw this. Did we enable it? Well, my nigga, you kind of, if you.
I feel like that's a different conversation.
What? Enabling it?
Yeah, it's a different conversation.
What do you mean? How's that?
Meaning, yeah, their time got to come too. But let's not.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that in that sense of like they should be like atone for whatever. I think they got what they're.
Yeah.
So there's a something called like, ill-gotten means, right?
Yeah.
Or what is it? Is it the monkey paw? Something. There's some story, but basically, you like a genie, right? You make your wishes, but there's always something that comes along with it, right?
Yeah.
And
it's a contract with the devil.
So
you might get what you want in the beginning, but then when karma comes and you got to pay the piper. Yeah. And I think that's what it is. Like, you chose to look the blind eye and look away from things that were happening, people getting hurt, and you're like, oh, it's none of my business, none of my business.
There you go.
Until you got involved, and now you got to deal with it. Now you're blackballed and all that. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because I think a lot of what people were, the little testimonies that they had during the documentary, they also were speaking on a little bit of self-reflection, right? And there was moments where they kind of just said what you said. Like, you had, is his name Kurt or Kirk?
I think it's Kirk Burroughs.
Kirk Burroughs, right? He said it himself. He's like, I should have known when he took the 25%, right?
Yeah.
And then there was like the things that he said he saw and the dots he connected, because he's essentially responsible for a lot of the operational side of what Bad Boy was doing. But he said this: no matter what I saw, there was a need for me to see the vision through, to make sure that the thing I created survived. For the other, I'm sorry, her name eludes me.
Either Cap or Capricorn or something.
Yeah. So she had ambitions of being an executive and was in a prominent spot.
She was known.
Right. But she eventually, her goals was to have her own, I'm sure, build her own thing, as many people who get into that type of game. And because of that, she said that she had, until being brought back into this situation, had kept things whatever. She never really spoke about it. She only spoke positive things, no issue. But she did so because I guess probably hopes that one day she'd either be back in or be put in a position for success. Lil Ron, right? He all the things he said he saw, all the things he said he was involved in, and all the things that he alleges happened to him personally. The timeline also shows that he wanted to make sure all of his work got into the albums.
Right.
And unfortunately, and this is from a legal standpoint, this is what hurts a lot of people. Him not bringing it to court until he was not paid.
Because you're an accomplice now. You're a part of it.
That's the same. And that's where I'm like, doubt is a thing, right? And 50 in this documentary did a great job of leveling the doubt, because for what it's worth, and you saw at the end, and you put your opinion on it about Diddy controlling the narratives. The one thing that everybody was able to leverage, at least for Cassie, was that she appeared to be, I don't know,
a willing participant.
There you go. Right.
Yeah.
So one last bit of a takeaway from the documentary, man, because this is one of those things. What do you think? Do you think that this is going to continue to push hip hop in a positive direction, in a negative direction, divisive direction? How do you feel this impacts hip hop?
I don't think I have the answer for it, but I think, like I said earlier, I think what I like is the fact that people are starting to stand on business. People are starting to call out the BS. You know what I'm saying? Big fan of Jim Jones, but I think people have called him out recently in terms of him being an older dude who's still pushing gang culture. You know what I'm saying? I see how he tries to maneuver it and make it seem like, I'm trying to help the youth. But if you listen to the message, it's not really consistent. You know what I'm saying? It's sending mixed signals, but people are calling that out. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. And I kind of salute people standing on business.
Okay, I have a controversial question here.
Yeah.
Do you think hip hop can survive on only positive messaging?
I don't think that's what people are asking for.
I'm asking that. Do you think it could?
I don't think so, because hip hop has always been a voice of what's actually going on. It really started back in I want to say the 80s, the early 80s, back when news reporters wouldn't even talk about what was really going on. So hip hop was a voice to show people yo, this is what's really going on. Public Enemy, you know what I'm saying? This is what's really going on. Who sang that song? Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. Yeah. I'm not gonna. I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to. No, not those remixes. The original one. If you Google, if you watch the video, I think he's walking through the Bronx.
Yeah.
And it looks like freaking Afghanistan. You feel me? It's run down, buildings run down. those are visuals that the news wasn't really, was trying to minimize. Police brutality.
Right.
Grandmaster Flash, boom.
There you go.
Police brutality, like a lot of those things were minimized in the media. So hip hop was a voice for that. And I think that's why it was so popular, because people really was like, yo, that's my story being told. I'm going through that and nobody's talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Until, the big companies come in and start to monetize it and push a certain agenda, whatever the case.
There
So
you go.
I'm still for hip hop just being like a lens into what's really going on, and what's really going on might not be the because we getting deep now. Now we talking about what the government has done to you know what I mean. So
Right.
we going into, I don't want to get in trouble with but if you know you know. So I think hip hop is always gonna have a bit of, I don't want to say negativity, but it's always going to expose the negativity.
No.
I don't think that it should be.
So hold on, because I don't want it to, like, there's a difference, again, between being the broadcaster, the storyteller, right?
Yeah.
There's a difference between being the storyteller, even if it's a story in which you're a character.
Right.
And then there's a difference between, like, the braggadocious nature of showing you one is proud of their actions.
And I think that's the difference, because a lot of people try to give 50 flack for his lifestyle or what he, and I don't think that he was necessarily doing it to, like, it might come off that way, but he was more doing it in a storytelling. This is my story. This is the stuff that I went through. You know what I'm saying? Versus you get somebody like Diddy, who, grew up in Mount Vernon, I don't want to assume, but you know what I mean? Like he grew up loved and cared for. Like his mom was there, you know what I'm saying? And he wants to take on a persona of,
Okay, now hear me out here, right? Because even that can be spun in saying that cultures are influential, right?
For sure.
So the same way in which presentations like that may have influenced Diddy in the way he carried himself, shaped himself, the images that he adopted, right? You had, and because in the same breath, a lot of those same figures are what leaves the ground for hip hop, and even 50, right? 50 grew up, I'm sure, watching certain people and how they moved as well. Does now the next generation watching people in hip hop, listening to the music, do you see how that can, like, trickle down into influence?
No, if you look at the whole lifespan of hip hop, right? It started off as like reporting the bad stuff that was going on. Then it started off into selling drugs, right? Then it went into like being a superstar, flashy, get money, right? Then the selling drugs created the lean babies. You know what I'm saying?
You went from selling to using.
Now you the drug addict, and you on drugs and on lean and on pills and perks, popping Molly. So you can see the timeline of things.
All right, so even with that, right? People don't recognize this, and if you don't know and you haven't connected the dots, a lot of even gangster culture is pulled really from the Italians.
Yeah, the mob.
Right, the mob, right? So, and then even that, when you look at historically, we can go and do it. I don't know if you guys watch Snowfall, right? That's part of the mainstream that you might know. Part of Snowfall highlights the fact that certain things were introduced to neighborhoods and culture. And
by the government.
Right, so things like that being such an integral part of hip hop, what does hip hop look like now if it was scrubbed a little bit?
Oh, I don't even have the answer. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer. Like I don't know what hip hop is gonna look like in 5 years if we keep pushing the holding people accountable. But I think that that's the direction that we should go into, regardless of what the outcome looks like. I prefer to go down that path that we've never experienced than to keep going down the path of, because you're this celebrity, you get to do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? That's a path that I'm not.
I think even beyond the individuals getting like a pass, I think we have to look at again how it impacts our culture. In the point that you mentioned from Earn Your Leisure, with their interview with Jim Jones, right? it puts us in a perspective where it's like, okay, cool. What does this look like now? What messaging is getting out to the youth, and what do people want to follow up with?
Yeah.
Like, we argue day in and day out about dating culture, right? We put things into dating culture. But if you're looking at the dating culture and you're looking at just day-to-day culture and people's expectations, a lot of that shit aligns with what music is saying.
Right.
Do you have the money to do this? Do you take this person there? If you're doing this, this is what you get. If you're doing this, this is not what you get. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is what you should deserve if you're dating somebody. And
100%.
that's all due to what messaging gets out there too. Again, levels of gatekeeping. I want to make a kind of a quick turn, right? Because there has been some recent news. There's been some changes in the guard in some of the prominent hip hop radio stations.
What we talking? Oh, Ebro.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
So, Ebro has been a controversial, I mean, he's a divisive, we'll say divisive figure in hip hop, because some people will see him as being gatekeeper with a purpose. Other people will see him as possibly like a hater, or one of the reasons. Put me on the spot here, right? All right, look. Here's
Ebro watching too, so
I know it's cool.
Keep the same energy.
I'm gonna keep the same energy. I think that when you empower a system that does not make it, that does not empower the system to replenish itself, you are hindering the system.
Break it down.
So one of the conversations we had was based on a clip where a guy was talking about, hey, yo, you guys, I'm happy to be here, but when I look at New York radio, you guys are like the ones who don't want to play me.
Right.
And he's like, well, and he gives almost this.
You talking about the video you sent me?
Yeah.
Shout outs to Stro,
yeah,
the MC.
Shout out. So he points out that like he's doing club performances. He's got radio play in this state and all these other places. Ebro makes it a point to say, but you're not going on tour.
You're not doing stadiums.
You're not doing stadiums. You're not doing this. And to that point, yes, that's accurate, but to me, that's moving the goalpost, right?
Yeah.
Because he then said something like, you're not doing the work, basically. That, to me, automatically creates a line of who's even worthy of radio play.
Right.
Because to do a stadium, I don't know if you guys know this, but to do a stadium or to do any venue, most venues in your own show, you have to be able to provide some type of deposit, just to like a guarantee that you're going to sell the tickets that you're going to sell or whatever else, right? All the stuff that goes into doing the show.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for them to even entertain it, you have to show a record of being able to bring out a certain amount of people. Mm-hmm. It's almost the equivalent of when somebody says, okay, you want this job, but you need to have experience to get your first job.
Right.
But how are you going to get experience if you can't get your first job, right?
100%.
And now you're looking at people who, like a Cardi B, like a Sexy Red, like a Drake, like a Kendrick, like a Cole, who have labels behind them. Mm-hmm. Labels to put up the money. Investors. And yes, there's something to be said about, okay, cool, then go out and get your investor. But if you're now saying that in order to even get radio play, radio being the place that's supposed to be introducing your music to new listeners, you're kind of hindering the process. Mm-hmm. So despite personal opinions about the man, I do think he can be a little bit sharp with his criticisms of people. And I do think a lot of it comes off as a gruff, you're not going to tell me how to do what I want to do. And I don't know, look, I'm not to go to war about DJs. It is, you control what you put on.
Yeah.
Right? Like DJs do have the power, a lot of it in hip hop, to introduce people to new fan bases. And if you're unwilling to do that, based on whatever lines you have, it's problematic.
Yeah, I think sometimes it feels like a cop-out, because the bigger the radio station gets, the less say-so they have. So from my understanding, right, a lot of these big radio stations, the DJ gets on and he gets a list of songs that he can play. So he doesn't have the ability to, play the local artists or whatever. Shout outs to the DJs that do that.
Big shout out.
DJ
They-
Drewski.
Yes, sir.
He's
Shout out
big
Drewski.
on like trying to get,
Always creating
artists.
platforms for new artists.
Yes. So I'll forever give him his props because he
Big time.
He does it when he doesn't have to. You know what I'm saying?
Matter of fact, he goes out of his way to create new ones,
Mm-hmm.
even though like just so that they run parallel
Mm-hmm.
to whatever it is that he has going on. And again, when you have that much power in the game, being the DJ and having a name,
Mm-hmm.
that's what keeps the life cycle of hip hop moving and going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I
Go ahead. What's your opinion on Ebro?
To me, it goes back to what 50's been saying for years, right? And he always called them out. It was like, yo, like you killed New York hip hop. Because if you really do the math on things, before Ebro got in position, like New York radio was playing local artists. That was a thing. It was known for that.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it became a thing to where it's like I'm only playing you if you're at this level, and it's like that's not realistic for all the up and coming artists. I get it that you want to have a standard for sure, but the standard can't be you got to be doing arenas to get played on New York radio, because that's not the standard anywhere else. Like you go to ATL, you could talk to the DJ, you could build a relationship with the DJ, he'll play your record, right? You know what I mean? Like there should still be a lane for that. You know what I'm saying? So and to me, 50 called it. If you just type in 50 Cent Ebro on YouTube, you'll see plenty of times, if not every single time that he was up at High 97,
Right.
being like, yo, bro, you messed things up. You didn't want to play New York artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you can't blame nobody else for that.
That's tough because, like, all right, people always say, where are the New York artists? I believe you can walk around the corner right now,
Find one.
throw a penny into a crowd and hit 4.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just tons. Now, whether or not you're going to give them the space to be heard and to, grow a couple levels, that's up to you. Somebody told me the other day, it was like when it came to the DJ itself, the DJs, I want to say their influence has shrunk, but it's just not being utilized necessarily in the way that it could be sometimes.
Why do you think that is, though? Social media?
I think, well, there's that. Like, social media can kind of water things down a little bit. You look at people looking at playlisting versus, but also I think that one fuels the other. You don't create those things unless the other doors were closed necessarily.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I think that the more we're able to enrich that connection between DJ and artist again, that's what will continue to help hip hop thrive. The introduction of new music, new sounds, new personalities.
You think that's possible, though?
Absolutely.
With everything, with AI, with all the way that things are moving, you think that?
Look, if there's one thing we've established is that hip hop and radio has the means to gatekeep anything. I saw that. I think it was Power 105 made a pledge to not play AI music. Yeah.
I ain't hear about that.
iHeartRadio. I'm sorry. iHeartRadio.
They have a pledge to not play AI music?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is?
Yeah, I mean, there's not gonna play any AI music and keep it authentic.
There it is. So that it starts there, right? Because
I don't know if they're gonna have enough power to do that though. AI is coming, and I'm not saying it because I'm an advocate. I'm just seeing what it is.
he's saying that because he's an advocate.
I'm seeing what it is. I don't think that they're gonna be able to stop it.
Well,
Because
here's
you got to think, like to a certain extent, radio follows the trend. So if you got your listeners who are like requesting this song that's popping on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and all of this, and the song is actually getting numbers on Spotify and Apple Music, you gonna have to. They're gonna. You got.
so
you got it.
so here's the issue, right? And this is just, and we can go, I guess, into what is it called? Like, what is it? AI morality, right?
Okay.
Are you, when you're creating AI, this is on the technical side, are you creating it to replace, enrich, or convenience?
Are you asking me personally?
I'm asking, you for now. But Like, I think that's the questions everybody needs to ask themselves.
I'm not a fan of replacing. So creating something strictly off AI, I'm not a fan of that. I think enriching your ideas and enriching, your craft, I think that is certainly a lane that, that makes sense.
I- Okay. All right.
You know what I mean? Adding to what you already have. So let's say if you have lyrics and an idea and the AI can bring that to life, I'm not against that.
Okay. So here, my spin is this, right? There are things that it can help you with, right? On the technical side of things, organization, stuff like that, right? I think it has its place in business.
Not in
think
art.
that I think in art and creativity are one of those things that, because honestly too, if you take out the human aspect of it, aren't you taking out the emotion of it? And that's what art is. It's not just a series of zeros and ones. So while there is a point where you're like, okay, well, I plant the seed as an artist and allow AI to take it where it's going to take it, there's also a level of that you're now, because at every level, people are putting in their touch, right? You look at Timbaland, who created an AI artist, right? Full-blown AI artist, from the look to the sound. And also in that, he pieced together people's samples. Mind you, AI is generally created by like a composite of different touches and data from samples here and there. So he's basically taking points and bits and pieces from artists, making an amalgamation of it, whether it's off the look, off of the algorithm, and then pushing it out. At every level of that could have been somebody else's creativity.
Yeah.
I think that the moment you allow AI to overtake music, it's kind of like, whether it's convenience or not, it's kind of detrimental.
Yeah.
To your point, can it be stopped? It can, but it takes a unified effort. Because otherwise there will be the people who will push AI music into a space where, one, either you cannot tell the difference, or two, you have some people who are so far removed from the outcomes of music and just purely into the enjoyment of music that it makes them no difference.
Yeah. No, it's something that we got to watch for, because I don't have the answer on where it's going.
He doesn't have an answer, but he has an AI album on the way. Check it out. New music
2026. Stay tuned.
2026. E-Man
Stay
music.
tuned. Stay tuned.
Featuring Curtis Baxton, not Curtis Jackson, because that might be infringement. I don't know if the legalities
Baxton
are behind that, but he'll be loosely in. You know what I'm saying?
Curtis Baxton is crazy. No, I'm definitely gonna put out some type of AI music. I mean, technically, I already have. But yeah, it's not gonna stop. I think it is here to stay. I think as an engineer, I have to adapt to it, because artists are gonna want to use it.
Yeah.
And I can't be in the space of, I'm against it. It's happening.
But that's why I say I don't think it's necessarily, while you play a role in it, because you actually help people create music. I do think it starts with people understanding, for their music to get to a certain level, it has to have a level of authenticity to it. Because that level of authenticity, to me, has been stripped away bit by bit through hip hop anyway, through music anyway, from the point of looking at the talent you had to have as a singer,
To
auto-tune, to pitch correction, to what, even if you look at MCs, rappers, the lyrical prowess you had to have, the depth in your music, the message. Now you can rap about anything. And so long as the beat is catchy enough, the words can be
played around with.
Boom, through the roof, gone. So long as you can connect with a certain demographic of people, you used to actually have to carry yourself a certain way.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't, the antithesis of carrying yourself a certain way may be what helps you blow up. Sexy Red.
The hood superhero.
The hood superhero.
Oh, man. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. 2025 has been a lot. It's been a lot.
Speaking of a lot, everything is a lot.
Let me ask you this: what's your most memorable moment of 2025?
My most memorable moment. You know what? It's not. I mean, if I could whittle it down to one moment, maybe, but I do think it's a timeline of things. It's like one quote was, "The magic is in the work you're avoiding." The magic is in the work you're avoiding. Whether that's work in yourself, the problems and habits that you're trying to drop, whether it's, you feel uncomfortable going to these places, whether it's you feel, you don't want to move into another lane, you want to take on another project. The thing that you're avoiding is oftentimes the key to the door that you want to walk through.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
The magic is in the work that you're avoiding.
Mm-hmm. And if you can't, if you're having a hard time understanding that one, it's just
Put in the work.
Put in the work.
I'm because I'm sitting here thinking about it. I'm thinking because I think about artists all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of artists are like avoiding putting in the work
Mm-hmm.
because they're waiting for this perfect moment for everything to align, and it's like, no, just do the work. Be consistent about doing the work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And sometimes the work, again, is within self. Like, sometimes the habits and the cycles that you've adopted are what's hindering you.
Yeah.
Your comfort zone is not just a thing of like, you just don't feel like doing some shit. You now may not look like the person who can do the thing because you're not doing the other things.
Right.
But yeah.
I think we should end it on that note. The magic is in the work that you are not doing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're watching this, let this be the sign. Start doing the work. Start putting in the work. Stop with all the excuses.
Mm-hmm.
Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Just
No
start.
Perfect. Just start.
That's it. Start, fail, learn from that, keep going.
Fail forward. Damn. Mm-hmm. So again, we thank you guys for sticking with us. This has been an interesting conversation, and don't think it's done. No. We have a third, and I really want to hear Raven's take on a couple of things. If you guys have any takes, any opinions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Hit us up. Look out for some of our new projects coming in 2026. We want to do a lot of things and with you guys, integrating some of our followers and making sure that we connect with you guys on another level. This has been Real and Uncomfortable. Yes, I'm C. Tez. That's E-Man Music. See you next time.
Bless up.